Welcome to C-Suite Sherpas, where we shine a spotlight on business experts and resources that you should know. I'm your host, Ron Partridge, and I'd like to introduce today's guest. We have with us Josh Nowack. He is the founder of Breaking Free Industries and a board member of Inmates to Entrepreneurs.
Thrilled to be here, Ron. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to tell a little bit about my story.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Why don't you give us a snapshot on what your business is and the major outcomes that you're striving for?
Cool. Basically, when we first met, we were talking about Inmates to Entrepreneurs, which is the nonprofit organization I work with. In that organization, we teach folks who have been judicially involved. We'll call it somebody who's been judicially impacted, somebody who's been touched by the judicial system, and they're looking, instead of finding a job, trying to find an entrepreneurial way out. And we'll teach them a basic set of business skills to start their business. My day job, how I make my money, is by selling apparel. I have a second chances printing shop where we screen print t-shirts, hoodies, hats, anything like that. And the people that work with me are people who've been judicially involved as well. My day job, I sell apparel. And then for my nonprofit work, I work with an organization to teach basic entrepreneurial skills to those needing a second chance.
That brings up a question. Do you have a standard offering that you sell yourself that maybe some of your employees will come up with the designs and offer through a store that
Absolutely.
you might have?
Not only to the people in our team, but we've actually partnered with some folks who are artists who are currently serving their time. We'll scan their artwork, put it up, and work. Art therapy is a wonderful way for people to get their feelings out behind the wall, and for us to be able to provide an economic stream, a way for us to put money on their books, a way for us to at least showcase their artwork is a wonderful way for them to start seeing what a life beyond prison can look like once they get to the other side. We've partnered with quite a few organizations that teach art behind the wall, as well as just folks who have reached out separately saying, hey, can I see this on a t-shirt? And we'll absolutely facilitate for them.
Oh, that's great. So where would they go to see that? Where would our viewers go?
Breakingfreeindustries.com. In our website, even though we are currently redoing it, you'll see various collections. We create, in addition to the work that we do for our own retail, you'll see different collections that we curate on behalf of other folks. These are folks who have submitted designs or work with us as far as their artwork. We'll showcase their artwork on our website. And then they can
Wow.
put it on a t-shirt. We'll give them the royalty of whatever the proceeds happen to be, put it on their books or whatever they tell us to do.
Oh, that's great. Do you have any success stories where you've actually been able to help people?
Well, I think every day is a success where someone's free. That in its own right is a success. We had one guy that came to us who was pre-trial. He had been arrested. He had an ankle monitoring bracelet, but he had been subject to home confinement. And even in his run up to trial, just by him being able to get out and work was a success in its own right. Just so that he can be out, be among people, because technically he's not convicted. He hasn't done anything wrong. But during that period pre-trial, he was able to participate in society and participate in real life by virtue of having a job. Once you're charged, even though you're not guilty, no one wants to talk to you. No one wants to hang out with you, never mind offer you a job. Everyone's kind of done the let's just take 5 feet away from you and we're not going to talk to you. So that on its own, I think, was a success. Fast forward, the person was ultimately convicted and is serving time. But I think it's just a success for him to be among the living, so to speak, and not just purely behind the walls of a house, pending incarceration. But as far as other folks and success stories, our goal is to get people to come through our shop and then find another job. Because once you get that, now you can go off, get another job, and use us as a reference. That to me is success. We've had multiple people come through, and we have a small team, anywhere between 2 and 8 people at a given time. We've had people come up and then get a job somewhere else where they've been able to say, yeah, I had a job. They can demonstrate a level of responsibility. They can demonstrate, hey, they showed up on time. They did a good job. They didn't cause any trouble. And they were able to positively contribute in an employment scenario. That to me is success every day. And every day that
Yeah.
they're able to do that. Like I've got a friend of mine worked for me. Now he's gone off and worked for a foods company. He's been incarcerated for the better part of his adult life. on and off for about 20 years. The fact that he's free 5 years later, I would like to think I'm some small part of that. The overwhelming credit goes to him, but it's like, yeah, you don't have to do stupid stuff. You can go out, you can be a normal human being, and life doesn't have to be a series of count time events where you're just constantly going and running that rat race. You can be out, you can be free, you can have a normal life and not have to be in and out of the system. And now that he's been out, I want to say it's 3 years. I would say that also is just a really big success.
That's great. So it really is truly second chance, at life, which is really good.
That's right. I mean, the harsh reality is, though, I went to a citywide event and I put my arm around a human resources guy. I said, every single one of the people in this room, but for the grace of God, could have ended up incarcerated. He gave me a weird look and he said, if you've ever bounced a check in the state of California more than 750, that's a felony. If you've taken your car when you first got your driver's license over 100 miles an hour, you'd be arrested for that. That's reckless driving. There's a bunch of these little things that we can do we don't think much of, but when we think of the world of a convict or a criminal, we think somebody with a black ski mask, just running amok and harming people. But we've all done things. Maybe we've gone to a cocktail party. We're just past Christmas now. Maybe we went to that cocktail party or Christmas party and had one too many beverages. But for the grace of God, we didn't hit anyone or anything on the way home.
Right.
In the wrong situation, that's a DUI at a minimum, if not worse. We kind of have a little guardian angel over our shoulders that help us along life, but for these random things and random people who have been caught doing stupid stuff. No, don't get me wrong. I don't make any qualms about what people should be guilty of and not. To me, it's
Right.
all a matter if we have a society problem. You get out from jail, now what? We need to get you a job. We need to get you a way to support yourself and your family. Let's not worry about the justice system at this moment. Somebody else can figure out that problem. I just want to help somebody who's done their time, they've paid their debt to society. How do we figure it forward?
What are the biggest challenges that you face in running this business and helping these guys?
Well, the biggest challenge is the same challenge every other business owner faces: getting referrals, getting business in the door. Technically, we have the handicap of, well, we're not looking for necessarily the most qualified person. We're looking for people that have been incarcerated, which its own level of just there are certain skills and talents that are available to us that no one else sees that value. I mean, shoot, if you've been trafficking narcotics, now I'm asking you to traffic cotton. Transferable skills. If you're good at scale, you're good at sales. If you're hardworking and diligent at what you do, and you've spent all this effort trying to work outside the lines, it's actually a lot easier when you do legal stuff. But as far as the number one challenge, it's the same challenge that every other business owner faces. It's getting sales, getting customers, getting orders in and out the door, producing quality work. And that's a challenge that every business owner faces. As far as getting team members, I actually find a much easier time finding qualified talent. If you go to a room of people that have been previously incarcerated, every single one of them wants a job. They don't like, yeah, maybe there's some folks who really like that kind of lifestyle, but by and large, people want a genuine bona fide second chance. They don't want to go back, especially when you think about people who have gone to state or federal. If they don't meet their obligations, they don't make the restitution payments, they don't find the rental payments for the halfway house, they're going back. It's a probation violation.
Yeah.
And so they're going to work harder than the next person. Like if you go to somebody who's perhaps more entitled, they show up for their day job. And if they don't do a good job, fine, they go back home or they do whatever they do. If someone messes up on probation, they're going back.
Mm.
And that's a daunting premise. You don't know when you're going to come up for probation or parole again. Yeah. All too often we think about the recidivism rates, what they are. Two-thirds of people are rearrested within 3 years. Those are staggering stats. But all too often it's because people can't find a job.
So they revert to what they've known. Thank you for that. That was great insight. Let's shake it up a little bit and give our viewers a
Sure.
chance to get to know you at a more personal level. We're going to do a lightning round, quick questions and quick
Okay.
answers. Ready to roll?
I am ready to
Coffee
roll.
or all right, coffee or tea?
T.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
A favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
But nothing stops a bullet like a job.
Mm. Favorite movie or streaming series?
Field of Dreams.
Favorite book?
The Alchemist. And if I want to be childish, I'll go with The Phantom Tollbooth.
Okay. Uh, Last question, two-part question. One bucket item list that you've already accomplished, and one bucket item list that you haven't accomplished yet.
A bucket list item of accomplishments going to Israel, Holy Land. One that I have yet to accomplish. I want to take Breaking Free to the point where we become an investment house that just starts bankrolling micro enterprises for people that need that second chance. So if you think about somebody whose dream it is to own a mobile car wash detailing business, okay, well, it's not going to be a lot of money to do it. Maybe it's 20 or $30,000. It's not a lot of money in the scheme of life. But if you're making 50 an hour, you're never going to see $25,000 in your bank account, at least not legally, maybe by inheritance. But to be able to talk to that person and say, here's the money. We're going to be partners now. My background in accounting, your background, and just you have this passion around it. Let's bankroll your efforts here and let's make some money together. That to me would be a life well fulfilled for me.
That's great. Great vision. All right. So probably the most important question, if any of our viewers would like to collaborate with you or get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
BreakingFreeIndustries.com, at BreakingFreeBFI on your socials. That would be the best way to check it out. If you have an interest in nonprofit work, check out inmatesentrepreneurs.org.
Awesome. Josh, thank you for your time. It's been very interesting and insightful. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays and a great new year to you.